Hello guys, what's going on? This is Negacious, and welcome back to Katawa Shoujo. Katawa Shoujo was what I was meant to say. Now, I think I'm actually suffering from insomnia, a light case of insomnia. At the time of this recording, I haven't been able to sleep in 39 hours. So, I'm sorry if my commentary is a bit off and a bit slow in anything I try to say. And also, I'm sorry if my voice sounds a little raspy. And I'm sorry I haven't uploaded in like 2 or 3 days now. But it's just been... It hasn't been so nice, let's just put it that way. But now, I'm back to recording. And the last time when we left off, we went to the Sato summer house by train, and it's a nice little, nice little place, like a older house, like which Akira and her lover have been using, or boyfriend, and also the Sato grandparents have been apparently using, I think. So, god dang it. So, as I was saying, the Satos have been using the summer house, and now we are there, me, Lily, and Hanako, to spend the extended weekend, where we get a 3-day holiday, so. And we kinda had some shenanigans, and it ended up that since Lily and Hanako are sleeping in the bedroom, we will be sleeping in the convertible futon. And this is literally, we apparently fell asleep, while watching TV, since this is the screen that we left off. So let's continue. Is he still sleeping? I think so. I'm not. I am, however, incredibly tired. It's getting late in the morning. I know that. He likely stayed up to watch television. I could hear it from our bedroom. Only because I couldn't get to sleep. Should we wake him? Don't do that, Hanako, please. No, we should leave him. I doubt he'd want to be woken early if he didn't get much sleep during the night. Thank you, Lily. Besides, he sounds so peaceful. It would be a shame to wake him when he's like this. Keep a straight face, Hisao. It is nice she cares so much, though. So we're feigning sleep, basically? Hanako, could you go to the fridge and fish out what's needed to make lunch? Alright. Just the vegetables and rice. That should be enough. We only need something simple, as we can eat in town later. Hanako's footsteps on the carpeted floor can be heard, moving away from the living room. As they do, I feel Lily's hand gently rest on my chest. It takes a titanic effort not to react, but something about her makes me think she knows I'm awake. A long silence passes. The only thought in my mind is of that gentle, outstretched hand laying upon my chest. After an indiscernible amount of time, Lily withdraws her hand. Good morning, Hisao. Conceding defeat all too easily, I prop myself up and rub my eyes. So she knew. Okay. How did you know? Your breathing was off. While that makes sense, she couldn't have needed that long to work it out. Knowing her hearing, she likely knew before laying her hand on me. If you want to sleep more, you really should go to bed earlier. I heard the television going long into the night. Sorry about that. My medications have been interfering with my sleep for a while now. Even if I'm tired, I actually have trouble sleeping. I have trouble actually sleeping. I'm sorry for bringing it up, Hisao. I sigh. This is exactly the kind of thing I wish others wouldn't do. It's not easy to make this decision while I'm this fucking tired. What do you want from me, game? Should we address it or should we wave her off? I mean, based on previous things, Lily has been worried about us. Like, she's obviously worried about us. Which makes me think that we should address it, because I have a feeling that Lily wouldn't overreact to something like this. Because if we just wave her off, I mean, we've done that before and it's kinda worked, but I have a feeling that we should kinda address the issue. Because being straight with Lily, or like straight honest with Lily, is pretty much a good thing, so that's how I see it at least. So let's address it. Come on, you worry about me more than I do at times. It just means I have to sleep a bit longer, that's all. But still, I'd say that I look absolutely fine, but I guess that would have a lot of meaning for you. She gives a sigh of consternation before trailing off with an amused chuckle, giving up the point. If you say so, please do take care of yourself, Hisao. Go on, Hanako could really use some help. She moved to protest, but reluctantly acquiesces and disappears into the kitchen, her hand running along the smooth white walls as she slowly walks. For a while I sit and watch television in an attempt to wake myself up a little more, but it's futile. I don't have anything better to do, so I follow Lily's lead. As I round the corner, I see Hanako and Lily, backs turned, quietly cutting food on the granite-colored counter. Granite. I'm temporarily engrossed as I watch Lily guiding the knife down carefully with a finger on the cabbage she's cutting, each slice delivered slowly, but with precision. She seems a little slow, but considering that she can't see what she's doing, it's a small wonder she can cook at all, let alone both for her and Hanako. Hi, Hanako, Lily, want any help? Is that Hisao? Oh, morning, Hisao. What? Lily jerks back in surprise before turning around, her yelp immediately drawing Hanako and me to her side. What's... she cut her finger. Yeah. A small trickle of scarlet falls downward from her pale fingertip, the knife having cut just deep enough to draw blood. With the television's sound masking my footsteps, she must not have noticed me coming. To compensate for having to use touch to guide everything she does during cooking, she must need to pay extra attention. Lily! Don't worry, Hanako. It's just a small wound. You should still get a band-aid on it, at least until it stops bleeding. First aid stuff would be in the bathroom, right? I think so. Will you be okay here, Hanako? I frown at how little heed she's paying to herself, as Hanako gives a quick, almost automatic nod. It's fine. I can keep making lunch. Whoa! Okay, I thought that was something completely different at first. Jesus, it feels like someone's constantly pressing down my windpipe. It feels really like it's not a good feeling. I don't know how to describe it. Look, my brain doesn't work right now. An awkward silence reigns as I set a bottle of antiseptic and box of band-aids on the side of the sink, Lily's finger held out for me to treat. I lead the lid of the bottle comes off with a minimum of resistance, and the small ball of cotton I soak in the liquid stains a pale green. Okay, hold still. This will probably hurt a bit. Are we gonna fall into the bathtub or something? Is this NSFW time? She gives a small nod as I take hold of her hand to steady it. With all the tenderness I can muster, I gently bring the dampened ward to the small red line. Ah! What? I've barely touched it. Sorry. I give a sigh, both at her reaction and to settle my own nerves. Her pain tolerance is startlingly low. I would tell you to man up, but I really can't do that. As she gives a small giggle, I take advantage of her momentary distraction and gently press the cotton against her finger a few times. Thankfully, it's enough to do the job. We both settle somewhat as I bring the band-aid over to the tip of her finger, covering the wound while making sure not to get it stuck to her fingernail. There, finished. You can move now. Taking her hand from mine, she gently clasps it in the other. Thank you. It's no problem. It's the least I can do after causing you to hurt yourself, after all. She lowers her head slightly at the apology, absent-mindedly rubbing her hand in what seems to be embarrassment. I really don't mind. Her answer doesn't seem to make much sense, given that what happened is pretty clearly my fault. I can't help grimacing at her, despite the fact that her dainty smile still holds. She must not like being reminded of the limitations her lack of sight imposes on her. It's something I can't possibly fault her for. I've fallen prey to the same kind of feelings before, despite my condition not being nearly as ubiquitous. Wait, what the fuck is that? What? Nearly as ubiquitous in my life. Jesus Christ. That's another doozy of a word. Ubiquitous. I think. Neither of us any the happier. We head back to the various smells of cooking food coming from the kitchen. I lay out the plates of food, steam slowly rising from the well-cooked rice and curry dishes, while Hanako lays out the cutlery. Knife one side, fork on the other. Western. How perfectly fitting for someone like Lily. Fork on the left, knife on the right. As we take our seats, taking careful heed of the dark red tablecloth hanging below our knees, Lily emerges from the kitchen. Oh no. Oh no. I have a feeling this is gonna go further than what happened in Lily's place. In her hands are 3 glasses and a bottle of wine? Oh no. As I recall our previous run-in with that devilish elixir, I hide my face in my palm. Alcohol? Seriously? She pauses as she reaches the table, a playful grin perched on her face. Akira specifically gave permission to take a bottle from her collection? Wait, there's a wine collection in that place? Not only does she give alcohol to minors, she even lets them pilfer their own? The perfect model of a responsible adult, Akira is not. More to the point, though, is that this is hardly a meal deserving of alcohol. I'm starting to think Lily's the type to easily become hooked on things. That's not really the problem. I don't really have any qualms with it, but didn't you have a bad experience with it last time? Last time was likely due to drinking too much, so a single glass shouldn't prove a problem. Oh, come on, Lily, we both know how this is gonna go. You're gonna end up drinking more than one glass. Come on now. Think of it as a learning experience. I can't recall many learning experiences that made me feel rotten before putting me to sleep, but I'll take your word for it. She dips an uninjured finger inside to feel the liquid level tip against the bottom as the liquid rises up. The white of her finger almost seems to glow as the sunlight hits it, the delicate outline blurred and refracted by the glass. Her fingers are definitely longer than mine, the kind I think are more suited to a pianist than a teacher. She'd likely have done well if she'd learned how to play. Blonde hair and a pianist? That reminds me of an anime. A sad anime, to be precise. 10 points and a parrot to anyone who knows what I'm talking about. Well, I mean, I guess a violinist, basically, but... We quickly dig into our meal, forks and knives clattering against plates. None of us are particularly eager to speak while eating. Lily altogether too reserved for such a thing, Hanako probably too shy to start a conversation, and I too busy savoring the food. Such a pedestrian activity, eating together at a table. It seems so utterly normal, yet it makes me realize how long it's been since I've done something like this. Just the three of us, sitting around a single table, eating as if we were a malformed family. Maybe this trip, as far away from everything as we are, was worth it. It takes quite a long time, but eventually we all finish our surprisingly filling meal. The wine, thankfully, has little effect, given we'd only had a glass or two each. Oh! I can't relax yet, though. I slump back into the seat, rubbing my stomach contentedly. Ugh, I'm stuffed. Lily pats her mouth with a napkin. Twice. Only twice. And with evenly timed intervals in between. It's hard to tell sometimes whether how she acts is a well-trained routine or a well-rehearsed act. I think I must be as well. Did you like it, Hanako? It was nice. Now that we're all fed, shall we be off? Off? Where? Ah, you weren't privy to the discussion between Hanako and me earlier. I get the impression that she's having a subtle dig at my sleeping in. We'll be going into the town nearby. I guess I should have expected two girls to take a holiday as an excuse to go shopping, no matter where on the planet they may be. I'm interested to see more around the north though, so this can only be a good thing. Sounds good. How long's the walk in then? It's supposed to be around a mile to a mile and a half. Nearby, huh? Great. Just great. As we climb up the path surrounded by trees and undergrowth, I watch Lily and Hanako walking ahead. The slight breeze all but whisks away the sound of Lily's cane gently tapping on the ground. I noticed that Lily's since removed the band-aid now that the bleeding of her finger has stopped. A deep, lung-filling breath of the fresh country air makes me wish all the harder that the air around home had been quite so clean. It can't have even been half a mile, but I'm already working up a sweat. It isn't a pleasantly cool day though, so I shouldn't be too hard on myself for it. Hey Lily, how well do you know this town anyway? Since I spent quite a few of my vacations up here until I entered Yamaku, I'd say I know it fairly well. We used to drive there once a weekend then. How I wish Akira was here to drive us now. I quickly take a moment to rub my hands a couple of times, staving off the oddly cold feeling in them. Did you like it up here? I'd say it was nice during winter, but as you can work out, summers can get a little too hot for comfort. It's nice and quiet at least. My family's real house is quite far south. When they left Japan, my parents gave it to Akira and me. Only Akira lives there now, after my moving into Yamaku. Well, quiet certainly describes this place. Though lonely is how I'd put it. Other than the prophesized small town, there isn't another soul for miles around. Coming from a home nestled deep within the big city, it certainly is different. I think that if I'd not come to Yamaku, staying out in the country like this would be too much of a change to get used to. After getting accustomed to the school's isolation, though, the idea of living in a place such as this has become almost inviting. To be somewhere away from the hustle and bustle of the metropolitan centers. So, Hisao, have you been to Hokkaido before? Nah, I used to live down south, and we never had any field trips or holidays up this far. Well, it's a new experience for you then. Yeah, it is. I'm surprised at how nice it feels here. How about you, Hanako? She shakes her head from side to side. It's my first time too. As we continue walking, I begin to feel pins and needles in my legs. It's a little disturbing, given there's no reason for it to be happening. Could you two hold on for a moment? I just need to... No? Is anything wrong? Nah, I just got pins and needles in... My vocal cords suddenly become taut as my chest tightens instantaneously. I quickly pull my upper arm over it, trying to quell the shot of pain spreading throughout my entire body. Hisao? Lily's face is only mildly concerned, not knowing the side which Hanako's recoiling from. I'm fine. I'm fine. Just tired. I remove my arm from my chest and force myself to begin walking again. It's just a minor heart flutter, so it'll pass like the others. I have a feeling it won't. It only takes a couple of steps before my body violently revolts against me, my legs suddenly beginning to give way underneath me, and all tension in my knees seeming to evaporate. Before I can react, they uselessly give way under my weight, leaving me only just enough time to brace myself and fall onto all fours. Damn! Hisao! As I look up to her, I realize my face is still taut with pain, only adding that much more to her worrying. Hisao! Hanako! Tell me what's going on! Hanako! Tell me! Hanako quickly moves to my side as Lily almost panics, having little clue as to exactly how bad a condition I'm in. While she stands there petrified, I lower my face and take a deep breath. I come to a realization that makes me endlessly irritated with my stupid self. With all the excitement of my new surroundings, I had entirely neglected to take my medications last night or even this morning. Oh my god! taking another breath, the acute pain in my chest begins to die down as suddenly as it had arrived. Thank God. Thank God. Thank God. Thank God. Thank God. Wow. Oh my God, that was... Holy shit. I actually thought we were gonna die. Holy shit, dude. As it does, I become acutely aware of the sweat by now pouring off my face and the two scared girls around me. Hisao! I'm fine, Lily. I'm fine. I screw up my brow in an effort to lever myself up, Hanako's arms quickly moving to catch me if I fall as I stumble a bit before regaining my balance. I look to Lily and Hanako, worry written on both their faces. I feel awful. Utterly awful. I think we should go back. Realizing the futility of protesting, I look away in frustration. Fine. Holy shit. That was... wow. I honestly thought we were going to like die right there and then. Like that was gonna be a bad end of sorts. Holy shit. But that's where we are going to end of this episode of Katawa Shoujo, guys. If you did enjoy, make sure to drop a comment down below. Whether you drop a few paragraphs of casual banter, or some constructive criticism, I'll make sure to read it all and respond to it all. You may also show your like or dislike towards the video by clicking the corresponding buttons, Jesus Christ, right below the video. If you want to get my videos into your sub-tab the moment they come online, make sure to subscribe and click the bell button next to the subscribe button as well. My name was Negacious, a sick one, I might add, and I'll see you in my next video.